Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Come back with me, Aulia Putri. Good morning, everyone. Before all, respectable Mam Zahra and my beloved friends. So, let me say thanks to you all. Thanks for your attention. Thanks for you all to watch my video. So, if you ask me that, I am here going to share my opinion about the use of a Google Translate to complete students' English assignment. Let's get started. So guys, as we see today, Google Translate has become popular in helping students to do their assignments. So, I got a lot of issue and I would like to share you a lot of impacts and effects the use of this Google Translate and how to give a solution about the use of this Google Translate to improve students' English skill. So guys, how accurate is Google Translate for academic purposes? So, in the general, this tool like a Google Translate can provide a rough translation of a text, but they may not always produce accurate or nuanced translations that are suitable for academic purposes. So, these tools, as a Google Translate, use algorithms to translate text based on statistical patterns found in large databases of the human translated text. However, this translation can often fail to capture the nuances of the language, especially when dealing with idiomatic expressions, technical terminology, and cultural context. In addition, guys, this translation may contain grammatical errors, mistranslations, and other inaccuracies that can make them unsuitable for academic purposes, where precision and accuracy are essential. Therefore, Google Translate is advisable to use these tools as Google Translate starting point for translation, but it is important to review the translation carefully, preferably by human translator who is fluent in both the source and the target languages. So guys, for the next is, can students use Google Translate responsibly and effectively? If you ask me, I said yes, they can, because students can use this translate responsibly and effectively as a tool to assist them in their language learning and academic work. So, Google Translate can be used by students to help them to understand the general meaning of a text or to assist them in translating simple sentences or phrases. It can also be used to generate vocabulary lists or to help with pronunciation. However, it is important for students to understand the limitations of machine translation tools like this Google Translate and to use them responsibly. They will avoid relying solely on machine translation for academic purposes and should always verify the accuracy of the translations with a human translator or language teacher. So, in addition, students should use this Google Translate ethically and avoid using it to cheat or plagiarism, copying and pasting machine text directly into an assignment without proper citation and result in academic misconduct and can harm the student's academic reputation. I would like to continue my explanation. So from those explanations, students can use Google Translate responsibly and effectively as a tool to aid them in their language learning and academic work, but it should be used as a supplement to their own language skills and with proper caution. So for the next is, can Google Translate accurately translate complex sentences? So, all Google Translate can provide a raw translation of a complex sentences, but its accuracy may vary depending on the complexity of the sentence, the content, and the language involved. Include to Google Translate uses machine learning as algorithms to analyze and translate text based on statistical patterns found in large database of human translated text. It can handle relatively simple sentences with a subject, verb, and object structure and translate them accurately. However, guys, more complex sentences with multiple clauses, idiomatic expressions, and nonsense meanings may be challenging for Google Translate to translate accurately. So, Google Translate may also struggle to accurately translate sentences with cultural references or technical terminology. Therefore, ladies, while Google Translate can be a useful tool to assist in understanding the general meaning of a sentence or text, it is important to review the translations carefully, preferably by a human translator who is fluent in both the source and target languages, especially for academic purposes. So, how can they use this Google Translate responsibly and effectively? So, they can use this Google Translate responsibly and effectively as a tool, not a substitute. So, Google Translate can be a useful tool for language learning, but it should not be a substitute for developing your own language skills. Students should use it as a supplement to their own language learning efforts rather than relying solely on machine translation. That's so they can also understand the limitation of the used. Students should be aware that Google Translate is not perfect and may not always provide accurate translations. It may struggle with the complex sentences, idiomatic expressions, and technical terminology exactly. So they have to recorrect or verify the translations. Students should always verify the accuracy of the Google Translate with a human translator or a language teacher. So they should not use Google Translate as the sole source of information for academic query. That's all. So guys, here I would like to share you a lot of opinions about Google Translate when we are studying by using it, or maybe we don't. Here is it. So studying by Google Translate and not using it can have several differences in terms of the effectiveness and the quality of the language learning experience. Also, it can give a lot of impacts and effects between students who are using it and not. So, studying by Google Translate for the effect is it can provide quick translation of words or simple phrases which can help learners understand the meaning of a text, can be useful for identifying patterns in the grammar and sentence structure of a language, can be used to generate a vocabulary list or to help with pronunciations. So, as the impact is, it may not provide accurate translations, as I said, particularly for complex sentences or idiomatic experiences, may not take into account the nuance of the language used, cultural references, or regional variations. Before of all, guys, I have to say sorry because every I share my opinion, I record it for 90 minutes, so it may be cut. I'm sorry for it. So I would like to continue my opinion. I would like to continue to share my opinion about the the differences between using Google Translate, the result of using Google Translate, or maybe they don't. So as the impact just now can become accrued for learners, preventing them from developing their own language skills and inhibiting their ability to communicate naturally in the target language. It may lead to plagiarism or academic misconduct if used to translate entire text or sentences without proper citations. So here I would like to share you for the one who are really study with this, I mean without using Google Translate. So here is it. For the effect is, it encourages learners to develop their own language skills, including reading, writing, speaking, and listening exactly. So it allows learners to appreciate the nuances of the target language, including its grammar, vocabulary, and cultural references. Promotes independent learning, problem solving, and critical thinking skills. Yes, that's. So for the impact one, yes, It may be slower or more difficult to understand the meaning of the text without the aid of a translation tool. It may require additional effort to verify the accuracy of translation, particularly for learners who do not have access to a native speaker or language teachers. It may be more challenging for learners who are not comfortable with the target language, particularly in the early stages of language learning. So from all, while Google Translate can be a useful tool for language learners, it is important to use it responsibly and in conjunction with other language learning strategies to ensure effective and high-quality language learning outcomes. That's all. So guys, maybe that's all that I could share you my opinion about the use of Google Translate for completing students' English assignment. I think if you not I think if you ask me that it gives a lot of issues, yes, not issues, but gives a lot of impacts and effects of the use Google Translate itself. So students exactly do not have to use a Google Translate because it is not it is unsuitable for studying English because they have to have the basic one for translating or maybe studying from reading, writing, listening, and speaking, so they could improve their own skills so they can prepare themselves. I mean, in speaking, it is use a grammatical usage, so they have a reflection that, oh, maybe in this sentence I am wrong. I have to repair by using a grammatical usage by a good speaking. So maybe that's all that I could share my opinion about it. Thank you so much for watching, and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm sorry if I have made many mistake. That's all. Thank you.